Hi, I'm Chase Pelosi.
I'm Evan Michael Lee.
And on Gaymer Guys today, we're gonna be solving racism in 7 minutes.
Or at least try.
This entire show existing is meant to have a serious message to it. So I hope you'll indulge us for this episode because what we're saying is important and we're gonna have a little bit of fun along the way, but say something.
Gay.
Ah!
Wow.
Siri, how do we solve racism?
Racism. R-A-C-I-S-M.
Okay, Chase, why this episode?
Because here's, if there's anyone qualified to talk about racism and the oppression of black people, it should be me out of the two of us, clearly. Jokes aside, games that have a single player narrative and are written a certain way do not feature a whole lot of black male protagonists that aren't stereotypes as the heroes of that game.
Yeah, and I think in that regard, if we're gonna talk about necessarily that particular subject, we have to go back to the past to see how we got here. So if you'll indulge us, we'll give you just a quick little history lesson. If you go back to the early 19th century, there was a very common theatrical practice called minstrel show, where white actors would portray black people and blackface. One of the very common ones was Al Jolson, where he sings the song Mammy. And if you Google it and watch the video for Mammy, it is cringeworthy. And then you have things like Disney, where they had very problematic characters. No tea, no shade, shout out to Disney. You guys are doing great work today. Now, however, you don't have the best resume. The Siamese cats and Leave the Tramp were very oh God.
I want to go into a couple games that really impacted me in noticing oh, this is so refreshing. I'm not just playing another white heterosexual guy. Do you know Telltale's The Walking Dead?
Yes, of course.
So this is Lee Everett and Clementine from Telltale's The Walking Dead, the first season.
You want to talk? You understand what happened?
Yes.
I'm so happy to see someone like a black male protagonist character that you are playing who is empathetic and sweet.
What are you thinking about?
What Chuck said.
What Chuck say?
That what happened to Duck would happen to me.
The f he did.
That's how you do it. You write these very complex and endearing characters who just happen to be a different skin color.
But in games like Mass Effect, which is my favorite series, you can be a person of color in that game, but the box art and the promotional materials are of a white heterosexual man. China has a very conservative culture.
Their social media is heavily filtered.
And you've mentioned before in Star Wars, they took out Finn.
Oh, he's not even on the poster in China.
That's not nice.
The business reason behind it is not an excuse to not include the type of people that are playing your video games.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Sure, maybe back in the day it was a risk, but in 2019, or whenever you're watching this, it's not an excuse anymore.
This game was huge.
Yeah, wildly successful.
It won Game of the Year award, so it's I don't want to hear that it's a risk to have people with dark skin on the box art of video games.
I think the excuse of, not wanting to appeal to the Chinese market because they don't want to see people of color on the box office, I think it's a little weak. I think if you start implementing it just little by little, they will catch up because you're not going to be able to fight racism by doing nothing.
For crime, and he cut that hair.
Okay, so Evan, I want to intro a game that does not at all shy away from race and racism being a through line throughout the entire game. This game is called BioShock Infinite. Okay, so this game you play
some white people on the
Booker
beach.
DeWitt, and you are in a city in the sky, as you can see, trying to rescue the damsel in distress, which at this point you have done, and she's never been exposed to this kind of 1920s America, paradise.
They got beaches in the sky?
Look, I don't ask questions. I don't know where the water goes.
You just go with it.
I just go with it. She thrown down, y'all. Hey, press X to get her attention.
Elizabeth.
Hello.
So she's never seen the outside world before. This is very new to her, this whole experience of having fun and dancing and being around people and stuff.
No, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go right now.
Is she gonna dance the whole way?
Mr. DeWitt, Comstock.
So there's also kind of a mayor, if you will, or Father Comstock, the prophet. It's Yes, meant to be like religious imagery, kind of cultish.
Do you dislike the look of the prophet?
I mean, listen, he just looks like he says the N-word. Hey!
Oh, hello, sir. Don't you pay me no never mind.
Oh.
Just some foolishness, you know. Just monkey shines.
Racism.
You ever notice that everybody on the beach was white?
I was like, oh, and he's scrubbing the floors.
And that's the first person of color that we see here.
Oh.
The, working blue collar person is the black guy.
Yes.
So,
Oh dear. Oh no, it's all fucked up.
This ain't no place for you, sir. You best be on your way, or there's gonna be trouble for us both.
I was talking about that because the character you're playing is
It's
white.
white.
So we've seen the colored bathroom.
Whites. It said whites on the wall.
Why is one bathroom for colors and the other for whites?
It just is.
It seems like an unnecessary complication.
Like, there are some good representations of people of color in video games.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are plenty of examples of video games with people of color as the lead that actually do well. Like, the first one off the top of my head was Urban Chaos, where you play a black female police officer.
The first one I can remember, well, not necessarily first one, but GTA San Andreas.
Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, so it's like there's other examples.
Actually, just throw the list real quick.
So Evan, how would you suggest like the call to action? How do you circumnavigate this problem?
Well, I think it really starts in-house. I think a lot of these video game companies and developers need to start reaching out to certain communities where there are people of color who are interested in getting into the video game industry. Even if they're not, you just being there could plant the seed that one day they might be. Because at the end of the day, it's just gonna make your company better.
Did we solve racism today?
I mean, listen, we did our best, but like, the rest really is up to you. Like, again, like I said earlier, we can't solve racism, we can't fight racism, we can't advance the struggle in any form if we do nothing.
Menstrual? Like menstrual cycle? Like that kind of thing? No. Okay, so what is our witty one-liner that we're gonna enter?
Wakanda forever!
Oh God.